we just came out of a rockin' conference, and I can't tell you how exciting it was. Words don't give it justice. You got to see it in person. Can't explain a good concert unless you were there in person. You can talk about the music; it was good, but until you see it, you just don't get it. But we had, in my eyes, certainly one of the best conferences that I've been to in the last probably 10 years. One of the top maybe 5 conferences in the last 26 years. So here's what we'll do real quick, just maybe some aha moments for some of the folks who attended. And if you didn't attend, well, I don't know what to say if you didn't attend. I guess I'm kind of at a loss for words for that. We have New Orleans coming up in a year. But Cap, I've had a chance to catch you last night about 11 o'clock before we got back to Knoxville at 12 o'clock. And as we ran through airports, but Cap, share a couple of your thoughts on, what the conference did for you this week. And we'll pop around before we get into some highlights.
Sure. I guess a couple things. One is just the solidified conviction that I was thinking about. It was becoming more of a full service associate, and I definitely want to continue focusing on the group arena, but want to expand to do more recruiting brokers and also working on small businesses, because that's just a huge market that I'm just not into, and I really want to be able to do that. And then as far as the training goes too, almost always, practically without fail, the best training I get is during the Shield Nation Breakout, just because love your guys' teaching and just the focus you all have. So Darcy's talk is, and I think I've probably heard a part of that talk before, but just, sometimes you need to hear things over and over again. Just that reminder of going back several layers just to see, like, why am I struggling here? Why am I doing that? So I'm looking forward to going through that chart again, just as I'm working to develop, going into small business and other things, like, what might be hindering me to do that. So that was just a really helpful thing to be reminded of. Yeah, so those are definitely two highlights there.
Yeah, good. Yeah, thanks, Cap. Good things. It's repetition's the mother of skill. And behind my library here is books I've read 6, 7 times. And each time I get more. And to Cap's point, you've seen Darcy do a few different things, but bringing our behaviors and our actions and our results back to how we think, because everything boils down to how we think. And I got a number of comments just like you, Cap, on what took place at that breakout. So great seeing you there. And I'm excited too about what's going on in the solution space, small business. And I think there's just a heck of a niche out there with business owners, because not only do you have a pretty healthy advance on the plan you sell, but now you get to tag a family plan on top of that. No business owner protects their business without protecting their family. And then what happens then? Hey, get this over to my employees. So good seeing you. Appreciate your leadership, Cap. Congrats to you and what you've been doing out there in the marketplace as well. Juwan Buford, speaking of small business leaders, and kind of piggybacking Cap there for a minute, what were some of your thoughts? Short and sweet for everybody, so we can get into all of this. But from this weekend, what aha moments for you?
It was two things. The first being, it's just amazing to me that so few of us really understand what it is that we have, right? When you look at the success that the company has had, when you look at the growth that's transpired, I went into convention and I came out of convention thinking to myself, man, like, we are just not walking in our power the way that we should. I think we really take what we have here for granted. And this company has been crushing it from the time I started. Like, I remember as a former investment advisor, when I initially joined PPL Assigned Legal Shield right before we went private. And I remember that stat will forever remain with me, that we had a 4,300% stock return, over a 15-year period of time. I was mad when we went private. I'm telling you, I was mad. I was upset. If I'd have known we had a 4,300% stock return before I became an associate, I would have emptied the bank and invested in this company. And that growth has just continued unabated. And to me, I just think that is absolutely amazing. The other thing I would have to say was an aha moment for me. after attending so many conventions. This convention actually was like a spiritual, it was spiritually rejuvenating me. Like that prayer session we had before the breakout and really taking into account and taking responsibility for what transpires in the business, good and bad alike, in terms of seeds being planted. um that really landed with me, right? That whole concept of ultimate accountability for what happens, good and bad alike, and being aware that, as constant gardeners, we have to be intentional about the seeds we plant, but we also have to be very intentional about not allowing the wrong things to come into our business and plant seeds in our garden and bear fruit that we're really not interested in having in our business. Like those two things really, really resonated with me. So I thank you, Mr. Hoffman. I thank Ms. Darcy Hoffman, because that was an incredible talk. It was the first convention that I went to where I really feel like on a spiritual level, it impacted me. And I wasn't expecting that. And I'm thankful that I went to this particular convention and breakout.
Yeah, fantastic. And yeah, thanks, Juan. Appreciate your leadership. I couldn't agree with you more. I think a lot of people do at times take Legal Shield for granted. I mean, here we are 50 years later, great track record, solid foundation, but really we're a 1-year-old company. The timing in the marketplace is second to none. And when you take a look at the momentum and growth that's happening in Legal Shield, it's not happening anywhere else in the direct selling industry. If you take a look at all the blue chips out there and anybody that's familiar with it, a number of the 50 and 60 and 70-year-old companies have gone under. I shouldn't say a number, but a handful, from Rodan and Fields to, the most recent one. And, they're just not attracting people like we are. So, that's one thing. And, Joanna, I agree with you. I feel we're kind of getting back to Harlan's idea and DNA is trickling back in, to the organization as a whole, and Harlan was unapologetic about his faith, his belief, and who helped him guide this great company. Daria, real quick with you, if you can keep it short and sweet for me, and I can get Jane and Brenda, and we'll get it wrapped up and get into some of the meat of what happened this weekend.
Okay, 2 points. So the world measures us by trophies like cars, houses, and material. But the spirit rewards us by how many transformations we grow through. That's number one. Number two. Oh, I forgot. I just lost my train of thought. But
It's all right.
I lost my train of thought, but I can if you get back to me, because I
Yeah,
had.
hold it. Hold your thought.
Oh, yeah, then I'll come back.
I'll come back in a second. Jane, I'm proud and honored.
I got it.
Okay. Okay. Fire away.
So we're an investment. I consider myself to an investment. So we have to invest in a skill set that allows us to be in situations to create value and in turn create financial freedom. So it's a skill set that pays, not the business. It's the skill set. And I always tell the children this, we got to focus on the skill that pays. So that was my aha moment.
Okay.
Okay.
I've said good. I've said my entire life, we are all paid in direct proportion to the value we bring to the marketplace. Life rewards deserve, not need. And that's why in my closing comments on a 90-day plan, I encouraged everybody, go through the sales mastery class 2 or 3 times. I'm going back through the fast start class 2 or 3 times. I don't need to go through the fast start class. I can fast start anybody in this business, and probably I can do it better than anybody else. That's my attitude. I'm good at it, but I'm going to go back to the fast start class so that my language and my consistency is in tune with what our fast start trainers are teaching and talking about. Same thing with what I like hearing with Cap. Cap's going to go back. Cap can go and market to small business. He's a talented dude. I mean, he and Brielle have sold a lot of memberships to employees and enrolled and acquired numerous brokers. They're good at what they do, but he's going to go and sharpen the axe. Juwan is one of the top. Listen to him as one of our top small business trainers, man. His words, his confirmation, his strength, his sincerity, his humbleness. It's like, it's just, you can grab stuff. So, you know, sharpen that skill set for sure. Jane, real quick to you.
Yeah, John, I'm going to take it one step further. For me, it's the mindset, because we always talk about you don't have to know, you don't have the skills to come into this business. When we look at beginning with Cliff Malloy all the way up to Brian was selling a totally different kind of thing. He was in real estate, right? He had to switch his mindset to share information. We're here to share, not educate at the beginning. And tonight, by the way, we had a wonderful dinner here. Brenda spoke with a young woman from Colombia and simply asked her if she has life events, and the woman's face lit up and she said, yes, I have a lot of life events. And at the end of the dinner, Brenda had gotten all of woman's information, and it was all amazing. So back to you. I am just beginning, by the way, John. I am only just beginning.
Yeah, good. I love it. And I wanted to congratulate Brenda and Jane, because they decided to stay over for a few days in Washington, D.C. Brenda had never been to Washington, D.C., though the two of them are doing a little bit of a tour. I gave them permission to take the night off because they were both fully engaged the last 5 days in there. And but it's there's your commitment, girls, and it's great to see you on the call. And I know a big part of that commitment is serving others so they can kind of hear your story and what took place this weekend. So, Miss Brenda Dandy, how are you?
Wait. Okay.
I just want to say that right there, I put sent her video. She was excited because she got it on her phone, and I am of course fired up, but I am a brand new associate. I have 20 days max to get my 3-in-1.
Like it. Put the new associate hat back on, kind of watch what happens. Okay. I know, John, I know I saw you there. I don't want to leave you. Ted, I saw you there too. And I don't want to leave anybody out, but Ted, I'm going to catch you next week. And John, any comment you'd like to have? And we're going to wrap it up so I can get into the meat of the conversation.
You bet. John Doan from Idaho. And John, your words, it's just incredible. I mean, everybody that has said their words tonight, you have to be there in order to understand the spiritual value. It was my family. I was in with my family. That means all walks of life in that room, gathering together, having that synergy, that energy, and listening to the stories, listening to people being just not only humble, but really doing great things with this business. And for me, I got from it was the action and the mindset and getting it all done. And when I got off that plane today, I got on the phone and I just was working on some stuff, but I just signed up a new small business. And then I met through that small business meeting, I met another lady that wants to be able to set me up with the school districts. She's a special needs nurse, and things are just happening. It's just it's a God blessing. It's a spiritual blessing. Powerful.
Beautiful. Well, it's good seeing you there too. Appreciate all that you're doing. And I've said it once. I mean, you might be tired of hearing it, but I'm going to continue to say it because it's been almost 35 years that it's been proven. This isn't just something I say because I feel like saying it. Okay. It's proven. What you can learn in 4 to 5 days at the international conference will return more on that small investment than a year in this business out in the marketplace. What you can learn in that 4 or 5 days will 10x your business, because it's going to take you 6 months to a year to learn it out there in the marketplace. Everybody comes together. The other thought process there is there's nowhere else you can go in business. Nowhere else you can go in business where the top leaders of the industry will open up their offices and tell you how to build your business. When Darcy was building her European tanning salons, she couldn't tell her employees the trade secrets of what she did. She loved her employees, but if she talked to them about all the trade secrets, they'd be open up a tanning salon right down the road, just like hers. Okay. If you work for me and I'm a regional sales director and you're my, sales manager, I'm going to teach you just enough to produce so that I can earn my bonuses, but I'm not going to teach you everything I know because you're going to have my position. You know, it isn't win-win. And that's the beauty of the 4 to 5 days that we spend together at these international conferences, is the best of the best of the best is going to be on that stage sharing with you how to not repeat the failures and the headaches and the barriers that they had. Behind me is my office. In these drawers are files. Up in my other office, my wife's office, are all kinds of files. 35 years of what we did right and what we did wrong. You got an idea? Run it by us, because if it's a bad idea, we might save you $5,000 to $10,000. Somebody once told us, hey, we want to put some billboards out there. Saved them $20,000. Billboards don't work. That's not what our business is. That's not how our business works. You know, we know those things. So anyhow, get your notepads out, and just a few things kind of that took place this weekend.
Hey, John, hey, John, I hate
Yeah.
to interrupt you. I know you said we are going to flow. I just wanted to share with John Dom. Joy and I have our testimony in the Prospect app for 24/7 emergency, and he talks about us having a son who's special needs. He's autistic, and I'll put my number in there if you need Joy and I to talk to anyone about this with special needs children, and also the fact Joy being disabled. We will help you with your members and the staff, whoever it is, to help close them out on life events, so we can share our experiences with using Legal Shield and how it worked for us on multiple occasions, if that makes sense. Thank you for allowing me to share, John, and I'll step out the way.
Yeah, put that over in the chat box. That'd be perfect. Perfect. Thanks, Deron. 50% of sales are coming from associates who've been here less than 2 years. What does that say? New blood. Period. End of story. 50% of sales are coming from associates who've been here less than 2 years. 3 years ago, it was just 6%. Okay. 3 years ago, just 6%. We have a group in this company that our CEO has labeled the Unshakables. And that group is the 11-year plus group. So people who have been here 11 plus years. Warren calls us the Unshakables. And this group has been the top producing, top recruiting group until the last 0 to 2 year group passed all others. So just gives you an idea, you know, new blood is the lifeblood. I don't take anything away from what any of us are doing in the business, but if I want to continue to grow, much like, you know, I don't know who was talking about the weeds a minute ago. If I want to keep the weeds out, the bad weeds out of my garden, the new weeds I'm planting is kind of the new blood. You know, it's that new energy. It's that new excitement. I don't sell and recruit like I did 26 years ago. I still sell and recruit. I've been rewarded as Darcy and I, as a PC Century qualifier. That means Performance Club. We understood in the beginning the importance of Performance Club. We still understand the importance of Performance Club. Why do we Performance Club qualify? Because we build an organization that Performance Club qualifies, and that's the foundation. That's the rock to a platinum position. That's the foundation. That's the rock to an ED position. 10 Performance Club qualifiers, and you're consistently qualifying ED, and you're looking at 60 to 100 to 150,000 a year in income because you understand the importance of Performance Club. Real simple. 2025, we've been averaging in this short first quarter 3,400 recruits per month. We're adding $1 million a month in commissions because of the kind of bonuses and recruiting that's taking place, being paid out on production and premium that's being introduced on protecting members. So premium is up 20%. I'm telling you these things because I don't know, when you look in the mirror, what you see in your business or what excuses you might be making. Because you can either make excuses or you can make money, but you can't do both. All right. So it's like the story with Roger Bannister. He's the guy who broke the 4-minute mile. As soon as he broke the 4-minute mile, you know, 10s, 20s, 50s, hundreds of runners broke the 4-minute mile. It was just simply a mental thing. People were told by the medical profession, your heart will explode, you will die. Well, that's just baloney. He breaks the 4-minute mile. Oh my gosh, I can do that. If somebody else can do it, I can do it. I'm sharing these things with you because if the premium is up 20%, if we're up 15% on unit production, we're up 24% on premium growth. That means your commissions are up if you're also recruiting and selling. If your premiums aren't up, if your unit growth isn't up, if your recruiting isn't up, you've got to look in the mirror because many, many others are. People are hungry for what Legal Shield has to offer, and they're not looking at Amway, New Skin, Herbalife, or Melaleuca, or anybody else. They like you. They want to hear about you. And by the way, Amway, Herbalife, Melaleuca, Prime America, none of the other companies can sell to small business owners, can market employee benefits, nor can they make a significant living simply marketing the membership. You and I can go out and market 10 memberships this month, and we can make $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 depending on where you are in the comp plan. In 2023, just as perspective, in 2023, there were only a few months where the company was over 2,000 recruits a month. That gives you an idea of where we're going from the perspective and up and to the right. Let's just see. Numerous conversations coming out of the home office. Their question, how do we make the home office? How do we use the home office to create greater commitment from our leaders? They are constantly looking at a plan to review for you and I. Everything is focused around us, and I'll get to Warren's comments in a minute. Improve the communication channel, improve the timeline of handling concerns and answering field questions and needs, improve the provider law firms. Ogimbi, and I'll get into more detail in a minute, our new chief operations officer is the past CEO of a company. My chief operations officer and chief financial officer, chief marketing officer, chief technology officer were all critical ingredients to the success of what I was trying to build in that company. And it's no different here in respect to what they're trying to do for us, 1099 independent associates. But Ogimbi has what he calls OMG, Outstanding Moments Guaranteed. And there's 3 primary areas of focus: Outstanding Moments Guaranteed, OMG, and that's going to be focused around our member services, our provider law firms, and our associate services. So almost everything they're doing at the corporate office is designed, to, focus on members, associates, and the provider law firms. All right, let me look ahead here. All right. Okay, that page. Okay. We've had more momentum in the last 7 months compared to the last 7 years. Recruiting's up, premiums up, performance cup qualifiers are up. And again, as I mentioned, from 2000 to 2023, right at barely getting to 2,000 a month, in 2025, just shy of 4,000 a month from a recruiting perspective. Again, if you're not recruiting, there's no excuse because others are, and people are hungry for the opportunity they're seeing. If you'll tell the story, you'll be able to recruit. Look forward to getting in the back office. I don't know if it's posted yet. Teresa, you might know. I just saw you pop on. I don't know if the super regionals have been posted, but the company communicated in a very healthy way with the Platinum World Council, Circle of Champions, and our RVPs. And we asked for a regional school schedule instead of just having our international conference in the first quarter and then maybe a third or fourth quarter leadership conference. We said, hey, let's get back to a regional school schedule. In 1989, when Darcy and I first got involved in the industry, the company we worked with sent a magazine out every month with a regional school schedule. First moment we got that, we opened it, we highlighted it, we circled it, because back then when we got started, we were taught as part of one of our daily method of operations was a long distance package a week. So we would look at that school schedule and say, where are we wanting to build? And we would have 3 or 4 markets located or highlighted. And everybody we talked to, we would say, who do you know in Houston? Who do you know in Indianapolis? Who do you know in Anaheim? And who do you know in College Park, Maryland? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? You know, well, I don't know anybody in Houston. Oh, I don't know anybody. Oh, I know. Hey, my cousin's down there in Houston. Well, great. Now that you know what we do, our business is expanding. Could I get his number and give him a call? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So in Houston, July 18th to 20th will be our first super regional. This gives us a chance to build in 90-day cycles. This gives us a chance to come out of this, building into that event, then building into the next event, building into the next event. And our international conference next year is in New Orleans. Every one of you can be an executive director by New Orleans. If you're an executive director, you can be a bronze or silver executive director. If you're a $50,000 ring earner, you can be a $100,000 ring earner. If you're a $6,000 earner and you've been a director for 2-3 years, you can be a $50,000 earner in New Orleans if you make a decision to do so. So we'll talk about that. August 22nd through the 24th will be Indianapolis. September 19th, Anaheim, California. October 24th, College Park. And Teresa, they can get that all from their LS Engage, or would that be in resources? Where is?
I just put it in our chat, but also we've got all the announcements for 25. We got an email today and everything is in there, but I just pulled out the super regional events and it's posted in our chat right now.
If you think about it when you hang up, send me those announcements. I haven't seen them, and I'll have Trish post them under what's new at Shield Nation tomorrow.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
I'll
thanks,
forward that
Teresa.
over to you. Uh-huh.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Now, College Park is where I am, so I can help you build into that because we will be having live weekly events in the area. So.
Yep. Good.
You know, you don't want to wait until it's time, but you want to build into it and through it as well.
Oh, you want to have, yeah, I mean, my gosh, for you know, you look at College Park as an example in October, you know, I'm building for that right now. And I get 2, 3, 4 associates in that marketplace. When College Park comes around, I've got 2, 3 associates who are taking 5 to 10 guests each there. 3 associates with 10 guests. You've got 30 people plugged in. You know, you're not waiting until a week before to build for these things. That's not how we do things, you know? So to Teresa's point, you want to get these announcements immediately. And so they'll be, you can see in the chat where they are, but here's just an example. The international conference in 2026 will be in New Orleans in April. So a lot of people excited. New Orleans is a fun town. It's a great town. If you like food, you're going to love New Orleans. Okay. Performance club bonuses and program is extended. The manager program is extended. The bonus busters are extended. They're going to keep it extended because, as I mentioned a minute ago, it's working, and $1 million a month is being added each month this year to what we're seeing from a recruiting perspective. All right. They just announced our next trip to Punta Cana. I wish y'all could have seen the scene in Baltimore when they announced the winners. Well, everybody who could qualify for Riviera Maya. I was freaking out because I thought the stage was going to collapse. There were 350 plus people on that stage in Baltimore. The question you've got to ask is, if you weren't on the stage, why not? Get on these trips with us. Join us. Harlan said it a long time ago, you're all invited. You're all invited. So you choose whether you want to come or not. All right. That means 700 people. There's going to be about 700 people at Riviera Maya. And I'm selfish. I'm extremely selfish. I want to hang out with my team. I want to hang out with Shield Nation leaders. More importantly, you get selfish. You want to hang out with your leaders too. You know, when I first plugged into the Super Saturday events, at first it was just Darcy and I and a couple people. And then I started getting competitive and saying, no, Darcy and I are going to have the whole first row. Then I'm like, no, we're going to have the whole first 3 rows, 4 rows. I want to have more rows of people than anybody else there. I traveled to my first event alone in Detroit, Michigan in 1989. And I never made that mistake again. The event was good, and driving home, it was a miserable 3 hours because I went alone and I didn't have anybody with me. And it was a good experience, but it never happened again. We have, let's see, we have 1,800, let's see, okay, I don't need that one. But here's an interesting statistic that speaks about in person, all right? There's 180 people still with our company today that got started in 2020. That's got to be a bit of an aha moment for a lot of you. 180 people are still with us in 2025. They got started the entire year of 2020 and 2021. What is the only difference between what we're doing today and what we did then? Anybody?
Live events.
Pardon me?
Live events.
Live events, Jane. Back then, during the COVID era, when we were all forced to buy into the lies coming out of Washington, what did we do? We all cocooned and hid. And we were told to separate. And they broke us up. And unfortunately, a lot of people obeyed. Everything was done via Zooms. It's taken us this long to get back to in person. We are designed for community. We are designed for fellowship. And that's really what it's about here. And now that we're back in person and now that we're back seeing each other, look at the growth that's happening. Look at the big picture that's taking place. Look at the belief and the attitudes that are just really shaping up to build this thing big. Live in person is the only way. We had 4,300 this weekend in attendance. Last year was 3,500. So attendance was up 22% year over year. 22% year over year. What's that tell us? Well, I don't see why we can't grow 20 to 50% for New Orleans, 20 to 50% from there. And we will be back up at 10,000 plus associates for our international conferences. The most important question you can ask is how many do you want to have at those conferences? And if you want to know the secret to all of this, financial independence will be for you and your family for years and years and years and years to come as soon as you put 100 people into this conference. 100 people, and you'll be financially free from this day forward. 100 people will see the big picture. 100 people will lock and load, and 100 people will be committed to building their business and doing great things. All right. Let's see. Okay. And just to take it a step further, in 2022, there were only 1,600 people at the international conference, and that was our 50th anniversary. So 2022, 3 years later, to 4,300. So that's, gosh, that's almost 50% growth right there. Okay. Let's just see. I don't need to hit that per se. While I'm looking at my notes here for a second, anybody want to chime in on anything that I've just kind of highlighted?
Pam White has her hand up.
All right, I'm not looking. I don't see her. Pam, she didn't
I
pop up
got
on
her.
the screen. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Pam.
Hey, I just put in the notes, just asking for the 90-day run because I am very serious about that, John, and I really appreciate you and your wife. And if you could send a link where I can get it and print it out, that'd be great. And the other thing is, I asked about the tickets for the event after the event. I don't see it in home office. They said they sent it in your email, and it's not in my email.
Which event? Teresa, go ahead.
No, I'm just asking. I'm event after the event after the event after the event. I don't know what that is.
Houston,
The
Indianapolis.
super regional events.
Yes.
Okay, so the email you got, it's everybody should have got. If corporate has your email, it's called Build Bigger in 25 with these announcements, and it's so you should have gotten that. I would check your spam to see if it's there. But whatever email you have on file with corporate, that's where it was sent today.
Yeah, and I usually get everything through corporate, but it's not even showing up in my email either. Because I'm looking at this, I never got it, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, I put it in the chat. So the registration, they have bundles. So if you just go to one, it's 79, and then if you bundle it, you get another price that's a little bit cheaper, I think.
Okay, so
when you
the
add
59,
on
the 59 went up.
79.
No, I mean, before it was 59, they said on Monday it was going to go up, and I was trying to get it for the 59. And then it was 59, then I think 99, and then 179.
Well,
I'm correct.
Pam, go ahead and check it out. I don't know I didn't hear about an increase come Monday, but go ahead and pull that up with what Teresa has in the chat. I don't know what the format is going to be yet. I don't know what we're doing Friday. I'm probably guessing a biz op meeting. So I haven't even heard training on Saturday and then maybe a breakout on Sunday. And
They have the agenda back there. So
Okay.
it's pretty much what you said, John. It's going to be a business opportunity and a social like on
Okay.
Friday night. And then, deep dive with some training on Saturday. And then on Sunday until 2:00, they're going to have specialty type breakouts.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And Pam, to your point, I'm going to come to the 90-day here in just probably a minute or so. So
Okay.
stay with me for that here as well.
Okay.
This was a message from our CEO, and it's been pretty exciting to watch our CEO each year get more sold out for what it is we do. He didn't know Harlan Stonecipher. He didn't know the kind of things we knew, and he saw the opportunity almost 3 years ago, and he got excited about, the mission, the vision, what it is we all stood for. But each year, as he got to hear more and more and more of the stories and see more and more of what we did, he got to understand more and more of what Harlan put together in 1972. And one of the things that he is committed to, and one of the things that he understands is what the engine is for this company, and that's the 1099 associates like you and I. Everything that they're doing in the corporate office is really designed to help more people more often and in more ways. So just think about that. Every conversation they're having, whether it's technology, whether it's information, technology, whether it's customer service, member service, associate service, provider law firms, whether it's making things seamless, whether it's outstanding moments guaranteed, it doesn't matter what it is. How do we help more people more often and in more ways? Because he realizes one thing: the more that company can empower us to recruit associates and protect families, whether network or solutions, doesn't matter, then the more we can grow a company. And right now, statistic we saw this weekend is there's 150 million Americans who are struggling right now with some legal situation. Could be minor, it could be more catastrophic, but 150 million Americans. And yet we're just under 5 million families, which is probably about 1.5 million, that we're protecting. You talk about opportunity, it continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so I've got some other things I'd like to discuss, but I will tell you this. Let's see. This was the largest event since 2019. One of the exciting stories I saw, and this is going to parlay into a story from Bill Walker here in a second, was, a young lady with 4 kids out of the Kentucky market who was a dishwasher 70 days ago, and she has earned her $50,000 ring.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, without crying, but yeah, Teresa, I mean, we all can clap for that. Her name was Rose, and I don't remember on the Black and Gold banquet, but there were probably close to 23, 24, 50,000 ring earners that went across the stage that were brand new since 2024, $800,000 ring earners that they announced the next day. Then we had 152, 253, all the way up to 700,000, But in 2024, 22% increase in recruiting. And like I said, in the first 4 months this year, 50% growth rate. In the first 4 months this year, 50% growth rate from a recruiting perspective. So I'm going to leave you with just the Bill Walker part that he shared. And I thought that was really good if I can find it. You know, the new system that we've introduced is called PAVE, PAVE. I'm not going to get into it right now, but that's going to allow Pam for you to kind of see a great tool for building in the 90-day cycles. P is for personal development, A is for activity, V is for vision, and E is for events. And then they break it down to daily, weekly, monthly, and annually. The point I wanted to make while I was there, or the point I did make while I was in Baltimore, is that I believe this can 10x our business compared to what we had in the 10 core commitments. And the 10 core commitments was rock solid, but it was 10 core. And if I were to ask anybody on the phone, can you name the 10? Well, Teresa could probably name 5, and you know, Duran might name 7. I might name 6, you know, but I'd be amiss to be able to name all 10 right out of my mouth, you know, so that's not real duplicatable. This is extremely duplicatable, and we're going to be able to marry it well. New people each day, whether part-time or full-time, really only have to understand one thing. Okay? New people, first day, each day, only have to really understand one thing, whether you're part-time or full-time. You are not the movie. And I like the way Bill Walker put it. You're not the movie. You don't need to explain the whole movie. You're simply the trailer. All right? You're just simply the trailer of the movie, because we have all the other tools that will explain the movie. And all you got to do is really copy what Dave Savola taught, you know, for years and years and years as the #1 money earner. Hey, Teresa, it's nice to meet you. Listen, based on our conversation, I've got something important I'd like to show you. You may not be interested. It'll only take 15 minutes. Could I send you this little link for you to take a look at based on our conversation? Would that be okay?
Sure.
Great. It's that simple. I don't need to explain the whole movie. I'm just the trailer. All right. And I just thought that was good. Obviously, it's we versus they. And I'll leave you kind of with this since we're just running out of time. 90 days cycles is really how we built the business. And we can still live, and we still live in that 90-day cycle. You look at your local events, you know, you look at your Super Saturdays and you look at your regionals, and you leverage all those things that you have available to you. But the most important thing is, what are you putting into your pipeline each day? I can't make your goals for you. You have to make your own goals. It's not my business, it's your business. First thing you do is you go to the Shield Nation website and you go to the onboarding, and you go to the onboarding section and you go down to the associate onboarding, and you pull off the Wealth Builders tracking form. It's your tracking form. The other thing you need to do is you need to download the new Prospect by Legal Shield app, because this will also allow you to track your business. Not the way I want to see it tracked if I'm working with you, but it will allow you to track your business and make your notes and see who's in your pipeline and see what kind of exposure they have to the membership and to the opportunity. But let me stop digressing. Pull off the Wealth Builders tracking form. All right. So Pam, if I'm talking to you and you're part-time in the business, and I don't know, I'm just judging hypothetically, if you're part-time or full-time, doesn't matter. A full-time person just does more than a part-time person does, but a part-time person has at least a commitment of 15 hours a week if they're going to get my attention. All right. So 3 people a day, 4 people a day is what you're putting in your pipeline. So at the end of the week in your tracking form, if you have 4 times 5, 4 people a day times 5 days is 20 people you have in your pipeline. It's real simple. There's nothing hard about this. It's 20 people in your pipeline. What does that mean? 20 people have had some form of exposure to Legal Shield membership / opportunity. Each category sits there, and all you got to do is put the date in as to what they saw. So if I contact Teresa, got something important I'd like to show you, you may or may not be interested, it only take 15 minutes, and I send her the link. I put today's date, 4/28, and I sent her the video. I then have a follow-up with her the next day, and I see on 4/29 that I have a three-way call. I also followed up with another link to another part of our business. So she's had 3 exposures in less than 24 hours. All right. I then share that tracking form with my sponsor, my upline partner, my workout partner, whoever it might be, an association that is holding me accountable to higher levels, holding me accountable to my strengths and interests. And it's somebody that I'm holding accountable to. So, understand, you know, it's about mentors, it's about your environment, and it's about associations. All right. So people who are as sold out for you achieving your dreams as they are for achieving their own. So every Friday I look at that and I'm able to have a plan, do review and see, what you have in your pipeline. And it's back to Darcy's coaching program. Tell me, show me, let me grow me. So at the end of the week, I can grow you. So let me just pick on Teresa for a second. If I see that Teresa has 20 people in her pipeline and I see that all of them have had, 3, 4 exposures, but I see that the exposures are 72 hours apart, I know immediately I need to help Teresa understand that the importance of follow-up has to happen in 48 hours, not 72 hours. Or I might look at Teresa's, tracking list and see that the people she has in her pipeline, none of them have received a three-way call. So I need to help Teresa understand the value of a three-way call. If I can't look at her tracking form as a mentor, as a business partner, I'm left to a guessing game as to what she's doing. All right. So every conversation Teresa's having, every conversation Pam's having, they're also asking, hey, who do you know in Texas? As a matter of fact, I was actually just really ridiculous a minute ago. I don't care about Houston. Who do you know in Texas? The heck with Houston, because Austin will drive to Houston, San Antonio will drive to Houston, Dallas will drive to Houston, Beaumont, Texas will drive to Houston, New Orleans will drive to Houston, Baton Rouge will drive to Houston. Okay, who do you know in Louisiana? Who do you know in Texas? Right? And you're thinking long distance. And so while you're building locally, while you're expanding regionally, you're also now kind of thinking expanding globally. All right. So that's really the 90-day plan. You can do that for 90 days. All right. I'm not asking you to lose weight and get your health back and kind of work a year from now. We've all seen how that works. Oh, I've made a January 1st commitment and I'm going to lose 15 pounds. I'm going to the gym 3 times a week. And all of a sudden, the first week of January's gone by and I didn't get to the gym and I quit because, oh my gosh, I already failed at my goals. We can do anything for 90 days. Guess what? At the end of 90 days, we take a little mini vacay. We regroup, we go and we meet with some friends for 2 days and we come right back and we build our next 90-day plan. You build yourself 4, 5, 6 90-day plans and you're financially free. But it's just like Brian did with the microwave and popcorn. You can't microwave popcorn in 30-second intervals. You'll be there for 5 years trying to microwave your popcorn. On, off, on, off, on, off. You got to put the popcorn in the microwave for 3 minutes. I think it's 3 minutes. And you got to let it go for the full 3 minutes. And guess what? You've got popcorn. That's the same thing here. And we can all live in 90-day cycles. There's not that much pain in it. The pain is if you don't do it, you've got more month at the end of the money. The pain is you don't have the car you want to drive, the house you want to live in, you don't have the pool you want to swim in. And maybe it's not about those things. Maybe you just don't have the money to give to the charity you've always wanted to support. It doesn't matter. But we're called to leave a legacy, an inheritance for our children's children. That's what we're called to do. The Lord wouldn't ask us to do it if we didn't have it in us to do it. So anyhow, that 90-day cycle, Pam, starts with the Wealth Builders tracking form. And then if we want to have more conversations as we kind of go forward, I'll be glad to have it. But it's a pretty simple process. We're building for 90 days, 90 days. And you're building, in your immediate market. You're always looking for who they know outside their market. And Darcy did a great job on Sunday at the Breakout. When I'm talking to Teresa as a prospect, I don't care if Teresa gets in the business or not. I do care if she gets the membership. But I'm looking at Teresa, and whether she wants to get in the business or not, I'm looking to the 100 people that she knows. Because Teresa might say, John, I've been in the government for 20 years. I love what I do. The membership is important, but I just don't want to leave my job. Well, Teresa, that's great. I said it might not be for you. Who do you know, Teresa, that's dissatisfied? Who do you know in the Northeast there that might be interested in helping us expand the business? It's absolutely exploding. Serious money's being made. Man, John, I've got a good friend who just got laid off with Lockheed Martin. They'd probably like to see this. And she'll refer me over to her friend at Lockheed Martin because she's got the membership and sees the value in the membership. This business is too simple. It's too simple. And so it's up to us to take advantage of it. So let's quit living small. Let's start playing big, and let's start building into these Monday night calls. Let's start building into our local biz op meetings. Let's start building into our Super Saturdays. Let's start building into our executive luncheons. Let's start building into our own personal Zooms. You put 5-10 people on a Zoom, I'll come do it for you. All right. You put 5-10 people on a Zoom. All right. Your upline ED will do it for you. Okay. You want 3-way calls? I'll do 3-ways with you, provided they're hitters. I'm not doing 3-way calls with, somebody your workout partner can do that's, not that serious. So, you'll follow me a little bit, without, yeah, good. Okay. All right. Questions or comments before I wrap it up? All right, Jane's clapping. One person to give me a clap. Anybody else got a thumb up? Brenda, Miss Dandy. Okay, good. Brenda and Jane, I want to see where you guys go tomorrow. The Congressional Building, the Smithsonian. If you need any tips, give Teresa a call. Teresa's been in that area for a long time. Teresa might get you in the Pentagon. Who knows?
Yep.
Teresa won't tell us what she does. She'll kill us. All right, guys. It was great seeing everybody out there in Baltimore. Pam, I'll leave you with this since you asked, and this is for everybody. What do you want to be? Where do you want to be 1 year from now in New Orleans? Begin with the end in mind. Do you want to be an executive director? Put it down. And then you tell all of us. Do you want to be a $50,000 ring earner? Put it down. Do you want to be a $100,000 ring earner? Put it down. Do you want 3 executive directors on your team? Put it down. What do you want 1 year from now? You all got to get mad about the people. Why is it you're okay with Rose going across the stage making $50,000 with 4 kids and being a dishwasher 70 days ago? You can't be okay look, I celebrate that. I am excited for Rose. But if I'm looking at Rose and it's not me, I'm looking in the mirror going, what am I doing? I'm taking personal inventory and I'm going back. If Rose can do it, tell me why you're not. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right. Love you guys.
Hey, John.
Yeah, Teresa.
I just wanted to point out when you talked about Rose, is that if she did it in 70 days, not if, she did it in 70 days. But can you imagine if she kept that same laser focus for another 70 days and did it again? Now we're talking 6 figures.
Yeah.
But what if she stayed laser focused for another 70 days? Now you're talking about 150. I mean, if she's building and she's teaching the people to duplicate what she's done, and when you think about it, her sphere of influence probably wasn't all that great, but she just got good at asking, talking to people, which is something we all can do.
Well, that's kind of the point I was trying to make earlier is, can't you just be the trailer for the message?
Mhm.
You don't need to be the movie. Dave Savola, I've got something important I'd like to show you. It'll only take 15 minutes. You may or may not be interested. Could I send you this link? It takes 3 minutes to look at. I mean, my gosh, people. Here's a guy making $200,000 a month. He didn't deviate from that. Why do we want to reinvent something that works so well? Go look at the consumer folder and watch that presentation in the Shield Nation training. Watch it 4 or 5 times. It is so hard. It's so hard because you got to memorize 4 questions and you give 4 benefits and then you offer a trial close. You could have it memorized by midnight tonight. It's that simple. Have you ever been treated unfairly? Benefit. Have you ever signed a contract or document? Benefit. When was the last time you updated your will? Benefit. Then there's one other question in there, and it's just another simple one. Based on what I just shared, do you feel $37.95 is an immense value for protecting your family? Less than a cup of coffee a day. Wow. Yeah. Well, let's get you signed up because I've only covered 20% of the plan. Here's the other 80%. Boom, 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 boom. And by the way, we got identity theft. Let's get your family protected there. Still less than what you pay at Starbucks a day. Bam. We wouldn't put it on there if it didn't work. I wouldn't open up my files. I wouldn't open up my years of experience to teach you something that didn't work. That would be just stupid. We open it up and put it there because it worked for us. It still works today. It's worked for 26 years. And it'll work for you. So anyhow, all right. All right. I could talk all night. I'm pretty pumped up.
Hey, I
See you
just wanted to tell you, Mr. Hoffman.
Okay. All right, Pam.
Hey, I just wanted to say thanks for church service on Sunday. That was awesome.
You got it, girl. I'm glad you were there. Good to see you.
Same here.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Have a dandy
Great.
week.
Have a dandy week. We want to hear about Washington. Send some pics.
Oh, you might not want to hear about it.
All right.
Okay, good night.
We'll
Thank
do
you.
our best.
Good night.
Good night.